Welcome back. It is day 19 of our road to 2000 Blitz Chess. We're at 1797. And it looks like we're starting off with the black pieces, and we have a Caro-Kann. Okay, we see G3 very early, but okay, that's just a little bit weird, but fine. Let's get our bishop out. This is an advanced kind of system. It's weird. It's weird. But it's just a different kind of move order. We're going to go c5 still and develop our knight. The only difference here is they haven't committed their knight. Yeah, they don't really want to get pinned. So now if I were to go here, they can push the pawn. We got to be very careful that this bishop does not get trapped. That is one thing I need to be a little bit careful with. I'm even considering h6 right now, but I might want to play h5, h4 even. I actually might play h5 rather than h6, because when they castle, I actually want to try and attack them and open up my h-file. This isn't typically how you want to play with the Caro-Kann, but I think in this case it's a little bit different and we can get away with it. Yeah, so they develop their knight, but now when I take, they're going to probably take this way, but our rook is opened. And there's got to be something good to that. I'm already looking at like bishop here. If takes. I don't know if there's much to that though. I could develop my knight, trying to go knight here. I actually like that. Let's play knight h6. If they take with the bishop, I will just take back. No worries at all. Yeah, I'll just take with the rook. We didn't want to castle that way, regardless. And now the knight's coming in. I mean, I can push. Where's the knight looking? We don't want to run out of time. That's the other thing. I could also play queen in. Yeah, let's bring our queen out and try to castle. Play bishop up and then bring the rook to h8. That is kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, they go there, but now we're going to castle. We protect the fork, but at the same time, we're just, getting ready to develop our rook to h8 and try to take here. That's the plan. I might want to play c4, locking it down so they can't open up the position in front of my king. Also, it would stop the queen from coming here, but I think the queen wants to come to a4 even, threatening some mating ideas if the knight were to move. But I like this position. I think we have a very nice position. Yeah, so the queen comes in. There's actually no attack. Actually, there is an attack. I could play rook or king b8. I could go king b8. Or I could play a6. And then if the knight goes here, I just take. So let's go a6. It weakens this diagonal, but the knight can't come in. Yeah, they go there, but I was just going to capture. So I can actually double up. Or I can take a pawn. But if I take the pawn, they're going to take here. It's probably not the greatest. I think we want to try and go for an attack. If they push the pawn, I can just take it. They can capture here, and they have a pretty good, cement in my position. But then we take here, and I think we're just going to be good. I don't think they have time to take on c5. Yeah, I didn't think that they had time to do this because we go rook h2, and like I'm just threatening to take. So rook h2, they have to move the king out of there. Pretty much. And they can't utilize this file due to this. So I think I just take on h2. Now g3 is hanging. Yeah, they have to vacate. Maybe now bishop e4, threatening to take the bishop. Let's go bishop here. Now the king has to be protecting this. It's going to be a wild position here. And after takes, we have check to win the piece. So You might have to play something like this. No, but that's not going to work, I don't think. Well, I guess here takes check. There is blocks. What about check, though? You go back, but then there's check. So I think I can just capture it after we have this. Just check here. You can't run because I take with check. Oh, but you can block with the queen. Oh. You decide to go there. But now I go check. No, maybe we go check here. And then we would push the pawn. Okay, it's getting a little bit not good. Okay, they go back, but now we can jump in here with the knight, giving a check. I don't think they should have done that. They might have to sacrifice. It's scary. But we have check. So it's going to be on the verge of a checkmate, but I think we're going to be able to survive this. I throw this move in. Let's go check. If they ever give me the chance to trade queens, we just trade the queens automatically. Well, no, the king can't. Yeah. I also have check, but I think we just capture this. Pawn has to take. And then we just bring the king up. Yeah, now the king comes up. We try to protect against these pawns. Oh, actually, we could have just went check and won the knight. Okay, now we can do that. Not winning the knight, but we can take this pawn. Threaten to go check. That's a good move. Okay, I guess let's come back. And they're trying to open everything up. I don't need to actually respond to that. Let's attack this. If they take, I can take with the pawn. Or even take with the rook. They just push their pawn. I'm going to go b6 now. So if they push, I take. If they take, takes here. And I have king c7. They first take there. I'm going to take with the pawn. Now they're attacking this again. Now let's capture here. We can take. And now the pawn should fall. Let's start with a check. And a check. And let's go check. And then check. Now we should be picking this up. Yeah. We get the knight. And that's just going to be GG. We trade and then take on a3. Check. Move here. GG. Okay, not a bad game. Not a bad game. We played with this 78. My opponent played with a 68. We just got a very nice position out of the Caro-Kann, and then we actually played this correctly. In the game, I said I don't think I'm playing this correctly, but that's just because in the Caro-Kann you usually don't attack like this. But I had a feeling like the position was calling for h5, h4 when the opponent played g3 and castled. And we weren't really committed there, so we get this type of position, and now what's the best move after knight here? We should play CD. That's fair. And then long castles protects everything. We kick them away. And we could have took a free pawn, by the way. We could have just took. But I saw that after rook h8, it's getting pretty scary for my opponent here. Now, the best follow-up here is actually to just go rook h3, and you have to play king e2, but then there's a check here, and everything's going to fall. Rather, we play like this, and it's not the worst thing in the world. Rather than that check, we should have went queen h3, putting more pressure on the knights. And then they had to sack there. And then they traded with the queens. And from here, it's pretty straightforward. We just kind of win a couple pawns and then won the piece and then trade into a better endgame. Let's go ahead and play another one. Okay, we have the white pieces this time against an 1803, playing the French defense. So we're going to put 2 pawns in the center and they go c6. It's kind of weird, but let's just develop our knights. And I'm just going to develop my bishop to e4. They take... Okay, I can't actually take like this because the pawn does hang because there's no check. So I have to take with the bishop. And I'm just going to develop my knight. Now they develop my knight. I can pin, I guess, but then they're just going to kick me back. I go here. They do this. You know what? Let's pin. Okay, they unpin. This isn't hanging, so I'm going to castle. They can take. Do they have... No, I can play knight takes e4 here, because we have 2 knights protecting the bishop. Which knight do I want to take with? I'm going to take with this knight. My reasoning is because this knight could be kicked away. So if I go here, there was maybe some f4 ideas. We can go queen d3 here. Just immediately at threatening checkmates, so they have to respond. Probably see something like that. They protect it in that manner. I think now we just play like c3. Just keep everything nice and solid. They kick me away. I guess we'll just offer a trade. They don't have to take. And they don't. I want to jump in and play like f4. But maybe h3 with knight here, and then knight here is the better idea. Let's go h3. It also will prevent anything from ever coming to this square. They can jump in here if they want, but I'll just move my queen over. They're attacking my pawn. I can push it. It kind of weakens this. Okay, we'll play b3. We can always play c4 if we want. We probably wanted to play c4 at some point anyways. And now they go back with their queen, so maybe they're looking... No, they're not looking for that. I'm going to play knight to h3. Knight to h2. Now they want to go there. I could offer a queen trade. I don't want a queen trade. I want to open up my rook. If I go here, they can just take it. I'm going to start with c4. Knight here, and I'm going to play queen to e3. It's not under attack at the moment, but... Okay, they go there. And now I want to play... f4, but I can't... Wait, I can play f4, actually. I can go f4 with the idea of pushing the pawn at some point. I would love to push, but I can't. Maybe I just bring the knight back now. Let's go knight g4. I'm going to probably try and play here. What does that do? What about just going queen here? I guess they're trying to go to this square. Actually, wait, can I take, check, knight goes back, h4. We get a nice little attack going, but I think we need to just play quicker. They can play knight here. I'll move the queen. Yeah, now we just probably move the queen. Let's go queen f2, not hanging the pawn, trying to play g4. And if they move the queen over somewheres here, we'll play rook d1. Okay, now we're going to tempo this. We need to start trying to open up their king. So they're offering a trade of knights. I'm wondering if I can sacrifice. Probably not. Let's keep the pieces on the board. Yeah, I'm not really too concerned about that. Here takes, knight takes, queen takes. That's not good either. Okay, let's just take. Let's bring our rook here. Their bishop is bad. They're trying to play quick. Let's now start attacking this way. Queen can't come here. They're probably going to play a rook over. Yeah. I shouldn't have put my queen on that square. I guess I can play this. I was trying to avoid this because I thought they could push, but they can't due to the knight being there. So let's go g5. Now we're going to take. We have to stop any checkmate threats. The knight protects h1. This is insanely scary, though. Knight goes there. I have to do this. Oh, they just take. I can go here now. Oh, takes, there's just checkmate. I'm just going to run out of time. Shoot. That was a nice play by my opponent. I got 0.5 seconds. We're just going to resign. There's no point in playing there. No point. I think we had a nice position and then just somehow fumbled it. Played with an 86. I played with an 83. We just made a couple mistakes. Like the opening, everything was good. Slight advantage for us. And then, yeah, this was our first mistake. Oh, because there's just a fork. And then you miss the fork. We start expanding. And then, yeah, it was around here. Like we start opening everything up. And then what do we have to do in this position? Queen f3. We had to immediately deal with this. But instead we have this position. Let's go ahead and play another one. Another one. Okay, we have a 1746. And we're 1796. Caro-Kann. Okay, we have the advance, so we're going to push c5. And they just defend their pawn. we just develop our knight. Nothing fancy, probably going to develop their knight to f3, and then we're going to go ahead and pin them. Not doing anything out of the ordinary here. Now they play bishop b5. I think we can already play queen a5. This pawn is pinned, so we're threatening like some takes after... Well, we're threatening the bishop right away, basically, is the point. And then we can take on c6. And now the pawn is pinned, basically. So we're threatening takes, takes, takes. But we got to be careful. I can play e6 here, protecting this, not allowing them to play e6. Sometimes in Caro-Kann positions, if the bishop gets off of this diagonal, e6 becomes a very annoying move because you either have to take or let them take on f7. And that's just not good for your position. Now they're asking me what I want to do with the bishop. We're going to capture and then just take on d4. Takes, and then we're going to play c5. Really trying to undermine all of the center. I'm not really using much time here because I know the position. I know that this is a very common idea to try and undermine centers. They'll probably develop their bishop or something, and then I'll play queen c7. Also, knight is going to probably go to e7 and then land on f5, bishop e7, and castles. Even if it went here, I could maybe think about queen b6, just putting pressure on the b2 pawn. Well, let's see what my opponent does. Yeah, so they do tempo me. Now we need to figure out where we want to put our queen. I think, let's go queen b6. Let's pressure this pawn. So they take, but now I get to develop my bishop with tempo. Well, not with tempo, but we get to develop my bishop for free. Just capturing back. Now, this becomes a little bit weak, but I can play knight e7. So if they go here, I can play knight e7, and then if they take, I can play rook g8, and they're going to take this pawn, but we're going to have a pretty nice attack. We also have to be careful of ideas like knight e7, and if they don't take castles, then some stuff there. Let's go ahead and go with our plan here. They can take on g7, rook g8, and we're probably just gonna castle long, to be honest. Also notice that they're hanging this pawn. And we're not gonna castle next move because then there would be bishop h6. We're actually gonna play bishop or knight f5 first, attacking the queen, and g8, but they decide to take. So let's go ahead and tempo the queen, putting pressure on the center. And they take the pawn, as they should. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Now what do I want to do? I can go here, but then knight here. Let's go ahead and castle. We need to attack them. We opened up the file, so that's kind of what we got to play for now. Our king's not safe. They could have took yet another pawn if they wanted. Now they go all the way back. I need to get my king off of that file. If I go here, they can pin my queen, though. So I'm actually going to play king d7, which feels very, very weird, going towards the center. But if I go here, they can go queen b3, and I don't want to trade queens. This pawn is pinned, by the way. Okay, they're attacking me here. Now we should be able to go queen or bishop d4. We attack the rook, so you have to play something like this or bishop here. And now I can just improve my knight, I guess. Takes. We can take with the queen, getting our queen closer to attacking my opponent. And we're also, notice that there's a pin, so we're threatening to go knight to e3. Oh, wait a second. Oh my gosh. Wait, no, we're not. Because if I go here, here, knight e3 takes... Yeah, there's no pin. Shoot. But what if I first take? Rook takes. I go rook g2. If you take, there is a fork. So I can actually take on f2. And they're going to think, oh, wow, they're blundering. But when I hit them with rook g2, it's going to feel very, very weird. And if you don't take my rook, I take your rook. And now you're getting forked. That was a very nice sequence, I must say. And yeah, now let's take the queen. We attack this, and the rook is also hit. They can first take with check, but then I can go. If I go here, they go here. So let's play king c8 here. But now there's this. What if I play queen e3? You take. I move my king. And then we're trying to play this. I think I need to go queen e3 here. You take my knight. I play king b8. Just getting out of discovered attacks. And now we're trying to play rook g8. With mating ideas. Also, we have check as well, which will be very, very strong, I think. Yeah, so I probably need to give a check. If you go to the corner, then this is incoming. Also, he has no time. Yeah, I think this is game over for my opponent. Yeah, we just come in with check. King goes there. I have a check here. My opponent runs out of time. GG. That was a very interesting game. We had two brilliant moves. We did give the advantage back, however, but yeah, let's run through this. So we have all this. We take, and pushing's actually a mistake. But I thought this was pretty good. And then knight here, they take. And what am I supposed to play here? Oh, knight g6. Fair enough. But anyways, we go for this, and then knight comes in. And then here we found the brilliant bishop takes f2, rook takes, and rook g2. Oh my gosh, this was a very, very nice sequence. And that's a blunder? Should we start with a check? King f1. What if they go here? We just ignore the fork and we go for checkmate. Knight e4. We take the queen. Wow. It wanted knight g. It didn't even want you to take the queen. I'm sorry, I'm human, but I'm taking that queen. And then, yeah, here we're winning, but then what was the move? We had to go check first. King h1, and then queen here to pick up the rook. And then they blundered because check, and now it's mate in 3. Check, king here. What is the follow-up? Yeah, just bring the rook to this file. And now it's starting to say sacrifice your pieces. If you make some random move, there's checkmate. So good game to my opponent. That was a very nice find by me. I think I must say that double brilliant sacrifice. Let's go. That makes the video. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.